What is going on, guys? Politics Gaming here, and today we are going to be playing the political process as a continuation with the Michigan State gameplay. Basically, we are going through and playing along with Michigan State politics. And the goal right now is we are going to be preparing for a gubernatorial campaign to run for the governorship of the state of Michigan. So that is something to look forward to in this live stream. So if you guys are interested, go ahead and share this live stream so you guys can if you guys are interested in this game, please let me know. And if you are just now joining, welcome to the live stream, and go ahead and leave a comment to let me know who is watching right now. And without further ado, we're going to go ahead and finally show the screen. And now, what is your position now? I am a U.S. House Representative out of Michigan 11. So we are still representing Michigan 11, the District of 11, in the state of Michigan, and we are going to do again. We are preparing to run for the governorship of the state of Michigan. So again, if you are just now joining, here's my election history. We first started out as a State House 35 member. We are a Democrat, actually. So again, we're in a mixed state. We are in a state that is not that democratically lenient. So I believe we still actually have a there was state governor. We have a Republican governor. Kaylee Flatter actually lost her re-election bid in the last gubernatorial race. That was in 2030. We are in 2033, or we are preparing to. We are about a year away from the governorship election, and so federally, we are looking at a Republican president. We are looking at President Collingwood. He did not win the state of Michigan in the last election, but he won 286 electoral votes with 68 million people voting for him. And in the, let's check on Michigan. Exit polls out of the state of Michigan, 4.9 million, or 68% of those actually voted in that election. So 2.4 million Democrats voted, 2.2 million Republicans voted, and 248,000 independents voted. And actually, what I figured out, independents in this game are basically undecided voters, so that's actually what you hear about that. So we had 2.5 million votes for the Democratic candidate, and then 2.3 million for the Republican candidate. So that is actually how. So it's actually, where Democrats are able to win Michigan, but it is going to be a hard election to face. So we are going to try and face off against Erwin Franklin or whatever Republican candidate they throw at us in the next election. So let's go ahead and start off in our, what is this? Let's go to profile history. We are a House Minority Whip, actually. That's interesting. 32,000. What is our position in comparison to everyone else? So we are a House Minority Leader. Yeah. Minority Whip is, let's check. We overtook Hudson Meza, so now we are actually the Minority Whip. That's interesting. I actually didn't know that. I came, I saw, I conquered. Hell yeah. Welcome, Jason, to the live stream. And then we are going to go ahead and vote on the budget resolution introduced into Congress. And this is the authorized revenue. We are authorized to collect $4.5 trillion, which is an increase $241 billion. These are the changes for that. Authorized expenditure is $4.3 trillion, which is an increase of $234 trillion. So proposed changes to the law eliminates the universal preschool program and eliminates free community college. I'm going to go ahead and oppose that, but that passed with bipartisan support. Only 10 Democrats, 10 people voted against it. Let's go ahead and check. We had Arizona 3, Illinois 8, Kentucky 3, Maine 1, Maryland, I believe that's Maryland, Maryland 3, Maryland 5, Minnesota 5, New Jersey 1, Tennessee 5, and Michigan 11, which was me, all voted against it. All states are better than Virginia, or Virginia is better than all the other states. Unfortunately, it looks like we are going to be losing a federal community college and federal preschool programs in this budget resolution, so that's unfortunate, actually. Let's go ahead and introduce some legislation. Earned income tax credits. Let's go ahead and check on these. Child rate and then childless rate. Tax credits distributed $142 billion. $137 billion of that is actually just because of child tax credits. It's buffering badly. I don't know why. Just give it a couple of minutes, because I had another window open. Let's go ahead and cancel that. Education, we are still true, so we are going to be watching over that closely. Federal, I don't know how to keep track of the budget resolution. Okay. Budget resolution has been approved with bipartisan support on in both houses. So hopefully, I guess we don't. Okay, budget conference report. Let's go ahead and check. It still eliminates universal preschool and free community college. Again, we're going to oppose. And same people look like they actually opposed it. Arizona 3, Illinois 8, Kentucky 3. Yes, yes, yes. Texas is better than every place on earth. Hell yes to that, sir. Knox Williams, thank you for that. I am actually a Texan. So thank you for that comment. That is a great comment. I wish I could pin things in the chat. I'm sad Bernie is losing since I am a Bernie supporter. Yeah, while we're talking about that, let's go ahead and start talking about the 2020 election. 2020 election, let's go ahead and actually start talking about Super Tuesday 2 that actually happened the other day. So, Super Tuesday 2, I'm going to be using CNN for this, and let's go ahead and go to their election center. The other day, and I actually was not able to cover this on my channel whenever it happened. Let me see if I can actually just get this by key races that happened the other day. What I know is actually the state of Michigan, and since we were actually playing as Michigan, the state of Michigan voted overwhelmingly, I believe, county-wise, every single county in the state of Michigan actually voted. This was 93% of the vote in. And I am actually going to get this over on the screen. Every county in the state of Michigan actually voted for Joe Biden. 52% of the vote was actually distributed to Joe Biden, with 36% of the vote going to Bernie Sanders. 60 delegates to 41 delegates. Tulsi Gabbard got nearly 10,000 votes, but with no delegates distributed to her. So it's very interesting that, and this was a state that voted, I think, overwhelmingly for Bernie Sanders in the 2016 election. So that's absolutely just crazy to see that is how the election ended up turning out. So what this means for the Bernie Sanders campaign is that Bernie Sanders is not resonating with a lot of voters, even Democratic voters, and he's not able to get a lot of the vote that he's supposed to be getting. And then Joe Biden, even though he is going out disrespecting a lot of these steel workers, workers in these blue collar states, he's still getting a lot of the votes. So he's still very, very popular enough to actually get it. And to compare, so 800,000, 500,000, and then 9,000 votes. And then wow, there were over 1 million votes, over maybe nearly 1.5 million votes cast in the Democratic primary, while only 600 under 640,000 votes were cast in a Republican primary. So I actually cannot really say for sure what this means for Trump. I'm not much of an analyst, and I can't predict in certain places what a state is going to do. But at the same time, it's pretty interesting to actually see that maybe there could be a little bit of a lack in the state, in these same states that Trump won by about 100,000 votes in the 2016 election. Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania are going to be extremely critical for President Trump to actually win in the 2020 election. And if he can't actually do that, then I don't have a lot of hope that he will actually be able to take the presidency again. We all know Joe Biden is best. All right, Jake from State Farm, thank you for that. We're going to continue. Okay, we got a couple of hearings on the Hill for us. We have a gasoline tax, Social Security, and Medicare changes. Looks like Medicare and Social Security are going to be changing. Oh, we actually have a Medicare payroll tax increase. And then Medicare eligibility rates. Let's go ahead and guess we are going to create an amendment for this legislation. We're going to keep eligibility age to 65. And then what's okay, so effects on the amendment. I believe we are going over. Oh, that cuts like a lot of money though. Should we actually keep it as is, or should we? I mean, the country is getting older. I'm actually very mixed. But Medicare, I think we just, yeah, let's go ahead and support that legislation. Only 5 people voted for it in committee. Yikes. Yes votes. We were the only Democrat in the committee that actually supported it. And then let's see what else. We have a gasoline tax. Yikes. Let's go ahead and create an amendment for that. Go ahead and put that to 25 cents. That's basically always been introduced like every year. Support. 40 committee members actually supported it. Let's go ahead and support the legislation, but that actually did fail committee. Let's see what else. Social Security increases the payroll tax rate from 5.1 to 6%. Let's go ahead and say no to an amendment. And let's go ahead and oppose it again. Kind of switch sides on it. 90%. That's all on the same day. Can you imagine that? Your amendment has been approved. Oh, actually, that was the one that failed. Legislation. Let's go to education, universal preschool. That is still true. But I think in like week 35, by week 35 is whenever we're supposed to see that it's going to. Let's keep going. And then just over the course of the year before we get into the election campaign, let's go ahead and just see what kind of changes we can actually make. And doesn't seem like a lot that we can do. We're gonna ignore most of these. Let's go ahead and support that. Bipartisan support. Don't really have any things that we really want to make amendments to, even on the appropriations bills. So we're really just going to kind of get through this year. Following staff members is retired, which was my scheduler. Then we're going to go ahead and get into this gubernatorial race. Okay, it looks like the governor is not going to be retiring this year, so we are going to enter the Democratic primary to... Let's go ahead and choose Christian Reed. Then do economy. Education, well, taxes, let's reduce the sales tax and improve the justice system. Let's train all of our staff and open at least 5 field offices. Let's make sure everyone's doing some phone banking. You should try passing legislation for crime rehab. Yeah, let's do some events first. Okay, so we're going for opponents, Democrat. Elizabeth Kessler, Senator Elizabeth Kessler is going to be facing us in this primary. So this is going to be between a Senator of the United States and a Representative of the United States. So this is going to be an interesting primary. Support minimum wage, raising taxes on wealthiest is going to will stimulate the economic growth. Using resources to help those in need is the best way to lift individuals out of poverty. Poll data, let's go ahead and do some voter intention. So Kessler already has the lead. So we're going to have a very hard primary against Kessler. She's a lot more popular. And vote on the budget resolution. Let's see what this gets rid of. Nothing, so let's go ahead and support it. We were the only Democrat to support that budget resolution. Jesus Christ. And for those watching right now, again, just go ahead and share this live stream if you can. I'm still trying to get my Discord back. So if you guys are interested in joining the Discord, please let me know. We got health, universal health care. We don't want to pass that on a federal level. I wish there was actually a way we could actually do it on a state level, but that is not a feature yet. But whenever that does become a feature, I'm going to be very excited for that. And just doing a couple of things. Once you become governor, you can pass bills on a state level. Is that a question? IIRC, I don't even know what that means. Alright, do you want to run for re-election in the House of Representatives? We do not, because we are running for the governorship. And I think 2031, no, yeah, she's a former Oh, yeah, she ran for governor in the last election. And she's the one who lost. So she was a former senator. I thought she was a current senator. Alright, and thank you, Megan, for that donation. That's actually a very, I really appreciate that. Television ads. Let's go ahead and do some, no, not economic growth. Let's do 100,000 into minimum wage. I always kind of forget that I'm running as a Democrat or Republican. You can propose bills to the state legislature as governor. Yes, and you have, more. Oh yeah, we lost a lot of turnout. Jesus Christ. Oakland County. Yeah, these are the people that are supposed to, you know, be supporting me. Interviews. And National Education Union, let's... Marketing, we really need to... Universal Preschool, I don't know if the state of Michigan actually has that. Infrastructure, Health... Medicaid expansion... Let's do another voter intention poll. 55 to 44. Automate events. Let's 10% door knocking. We're really, oh my god. Okay, that's because of my policy. Let's see. Platform, Elizabeth Kessler. Check our platform, see what we're different on. Let's check. Decrease, okay, decrease on both. Interviews. We're really lacking on that Democratic voter enthusiasm. Education, free community college. We're winning among independents. They can vote in the primary. But I still think we're gonna lose. Okay, automate events, let's say no. Income tax rates. Okay, we're really screwing this up. Really not able to get this up. If you guys have any suggestions, please let me know. Let's go ahead and open a lot more field offices. Getting a lot of donations though. Poverty, Social Security. Minimum wage, economic growth. Staff. Okay, let's oppose the flat tax. Let's go for stricter gun laws. Let's do some polling. And then let's do policy support, priorities, and then public opinion on economy, taxes, education. That's it. Voter intention. Let's do another voter intention poll as well. Okay, we're closing the gap actually between me and Kessler. Policy support is 59 to 63, so economy 78, 69, and 69. So it's economy, taxes, and education. So immediately economy, taxes, and education. And then increase that access to higher education. And then poll data, let's do, okay, so it's 78 for minimum wage, so that's going to be policy, economy, increase the minimum wage. Taxes, lower the sales tax. Finances, poll data. Like I've said before, a good thing to do is market a big sum of money on either Social Security or universal preschool. Yeah, I did that, but it's not getting that enthusiasm up. So I'm trying to do all other alternatives. So looks like a big sum of that is going to go toward universal preschool. So yeah, you are right. Decreasing, decreasing, and then increasing. Let's do that because I did change it to where it's decrease, decrease, and an increase. Events, door knocking. Let's do minimum wage, 155,000. Go to taxes, income tax rates. Also max out stuff if you haven't. Yeah. Oh yeah, I did. I already did that. Let's open more field offices. Then get more. Economy, what am I doing? Economic growth. Staff policy. Raise taxes and increase spending is because that's usually like the one that everyone really likes. Pill data. And I believe that's what it was. 53. Oh, so it's actually really split. That's actually why. So 76% to 24%. Okay, so that's really where that's starting to hit. We got 121,000 to delegate events, local television interview. So we're 70% among Democrats right now. Voter intention. It's getting even closer. This is going to be an extremely close election. All right, Philip. Yeah, you've missed out on a little bit. I'm actually running for the governorship of the state of Michigan. Income gap. Yikes, that really hurt. What did I mess up on? Contact staff, finance, poll data, policy. Events. National Education Union. Washtenaw County, Ottawa County, and Saginaw County. Attack ads, look at your opponent's policies. Yeah, that's something I usually kind of ignore. See your platform. Let's see what we can get her on. So it's decrease, decrease, increase, same as mine. She supports universal healthcare and Medicaid expansion. Human activity. So I can't really hit her on anything. Support. I oppose banning assault weapons. Support legalizing weed. Support banning high-capacity magazines. Let's do another poll. Let's see the opinion on guns. What is this? Guns and crime. Background checks. 70% support banning assault weapons. So unfortunately, since I kind of don't agree with that, but everyone else does, let's support banning assault weapons and oppose stand your ground laws. So we're going to be doing a little bit of a flip-flop. What about stand your ground? So that's really split. 31% of Democrats actually oppose it. Or only 31% of Democrats actually support stand your ground laws. So again, we're gonna we're gonna go against that, and then we're going to support banning assault weapons. I'm not actually going to institute that, but just to get into the Democratic primary, let's go ahead and drop. He's now going after virtual Michigan's Second Amendment rights. Do direct mail to Republicans talking about supporting assault rifles. So the general election is going to be even harder. If this is hard for me, the general election is going to be the hardest thing I've ever done in this game. Income gap, economic growth. Let's go ahead and draw about $200,000 into that. We really, really need to hit that one issue. Let's do the rallies. 167,000 people. Let's do it in Oakland County. That got us to 71. Minimum wage, education, universal preschool, teacher salaries, free community college. Let's see the election. It's going to be extremely close. Damn it. Alright, so let's go ahead and finish off the last term that we are going to serve. We cannot continue, and then maybe in the future we can just come back and go for Senate or something. We have a lot of yeah, PG unemployed, hell yeah. That really sucks. That really sucks. Automate events. We have 10 proteges that we can actually get. Let's see what kind of legislation we can get passed in our last year. Student welfare committees. $13 billion into that. Let's go ahead. Didn't pass. Let's go ahead and ignore a lot of these. Just go ahead and sit the general election. And see how this ended up. Kessler did actually win her bid for the governorship back, so that's good that we have a Democratic governor. State Senate, neither party gained seats. State House, Democrats gained 4 seats. And our district actually ended up staying. House district, Democrats won our House district, so our district is continuing. Yeah, I feel that too, Knox. Senate, 2032, we did not have a Senate election this year. Republicans gained 1 seat, which was the state of North Carolina. And by the way, Jake from State Farm, I actually made you a moderator for this stream. And let's go ahead and go into the next year. Hey, what's going on, Dixie? Welcome to the live stream. President Willard Collingwood will be seeking re-election, so we're most likely, again, we are going to be seeing a. Yep, we do not currently have a job, but what can we actually run for? We are in Oakland County. Look at that, we are a House Minority Whip. And now we're unemployed. Hell yeah. Yeah, and we lost our Michigan governor bid. But that is still good. Let's see our stats. Primary wins 10. Primary elections 10. We've only won 70% of our primaries. But we've won 100% of our generals. We have written 19 pieces of legislation. I'm trying to remember what city we're actually out of. Oh, we're out of Pontiac. We're out of Pontiac, Michigan. So we have the opportunity to run for mayor of Pontiac. Are you watching Trump's address in the next 10 minutes? I actually did not know that he was running for Or I did not know that Trump was having a address in the next 10 minutes. Is it about the coronavirus, I believe? Trump has made some decisions about the U.S. coronavirus response. He will address the nation soon about the deadly outbreak as U.S. cases pass 1,000. One thing he should do is run for president and get the PAC money. Yeah, that would be a really good idea if I actually did that. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and pay attention to the presidents in the next couple of minutes. Let's go into the 2036 elections. I'm not going to be running for any local elections in this. Let's just see what we can actually run for in 2036. Okay, we got state representative, state senator. We can run for U.S. House representative again. We can run for Senate. Let's run for Senate. Let's try our third let's try our third bid for the Senate in this live stream series. Let's go ahead and do economy, education, and tax. Let's go ahead and concentrate on increasing the minimum wage, getting more access to higher education, and then reduce the income tax. Should PG retire? Yeah, should I retire, boys? Should I? Or should I just die? So we're running for Senate right now. Campaign. Let's go ahead and, again, let's get those field offices open. It's going to be a highly lucrative campaign for us. Already getting $300,000 in PG. Are you Trump 2020 or Biden 2020? I am actually Trump 2020. I do support the president. I do like what he is doing. He's kind of really critical on the coronavirus, and depending on what he says within the next 10 minutes over the coronavirus, let me go ahead and see if I can get this on. Trump addresses the nation amid coronavirus pandemic. Which actually, yeah, the coronavirus was declared a pandemic today. Raise taxes to 100%, then embezzle the money. Yes, please. I think we might be mixing up political process with Tropico. Yeah, I believe so, actually. Yeah. Please die. See if conservative companies can actually get on our side. Senate Republicans. Let's see if they want to give us money. Let's do schedule, give interview. Okay, we're getting Democratic support. Rallies, do Kent County. We only can do, well, yeah, Kent County and Kalamazoo, I guess. Max out our staff. Let's go ahead and open about 15 more field offices. Actually, let's go ahead and get this up to 50. Let's do increase the minimum wage. Let's see our opponents. We're going to be going against Constable. Elise Constable. She has no political history. Actually, oh my god, we're going to become the nominee. Let's go ahead and do 1,000. It's going to have a margin of error of 3.1. Let's do voter intention. Voter enthusiasm. No, not enthusiasm. Let's just do priorities. As well as policy support. And looks like we are the front runner in this by a very wide margin. Chuck Weber, is he the incumbent senator? Oh, Michigan has an incumbent Republican senator. Considering the Republicans elected UPG, he might just have some decent odds. Yeah. Hey, what's going on, Andrew Locke? Welcome to the live stream. I've never seen you here. but welcome to the live stream. Door knocking, rallies. This is a Senate campaign. Not a lot of action going on. Minimum wage, economic growth, education. Let's do some federal preschool assistance. Yeah, I believe... oh my god, we're actually going to become the Senate... Democratic Senate nominee. Teacher salaries. Yikes. Let's go ahead and go to week 14. Education, free community college. $500,000 into that. Yeah, this nomination is ours. This is going to be the first time I've actually been able to grab the oh my god. Just got done watching the second live stream. I saw you were live at the moment, so I figured I'd drop in. Thank you so much. And what's going on, Aiden? Welcome to the live stream. I have a lot of people actually joining in on this stream right now. Let's go ahead and get some Social Security. Maybe skipping a couple of weeks was actually a really bad idea. What's our... oh my god, we're doing horrible with the economy. Minimum wage, let's hammer that down. Jesus Christ. Minimum wage. Let's drop about $500,000 into that. Jeez. Michigan is a wonderful state regarding its natural beauty. Yeah, I've always wanted to go to Michigan. I think I accidentally skipped twice there. Let's see. For one, poll data. Do some voter intention more. It's going to be a very close primary election. Constable, let's see. Oh my god, she hates Social Security. She's going to lose. She's going to lose this election. Hands down. Social Security attack ad. Poverty, Social Security, Elise. You're dead. You are absolutely dead. Let's drop $500,000 into an attack ad on her. And then let's come out with our own ad supporting Social Security. Another $500,000. Poll data, let's do that. Voter intention, let's see if that worked. She's still the front runner. Rallies, let's do more. 17,000. 18,000, let's do more of that. Interviews, really not able to do that. God. Okay, what's one final thing that we can actually hit? The general election will be hard. Yep, I can already tell. Free community college, let's drop 300,000 into that. Voter enthusiasm is horrible right now. That's actually why we're not able to get it up. Growth. Taxes, income tax rates. These things are always so mixed. Events, marketing. Let's just delegate marketing. And that didn't help. Just go to the next year. Next thing. Prepare to lose this election. Yep. And... God, this is just a horrible live stream where I'm just, you know, constantly losing elections. Oh, actually, hang on.
Officially announced that this is a global pandemic. We have been in frequent contact with our allies, and we are marshaling the full power of the federal government and the private sector to protect the American people. This is the most aggressive and comprehensive effort to confront a foreign virus in modern history. I am confident that by counting and continuing to take these tough measures, we will significantly reduce the threat to our citizens, and we will ultimately and expeditiously defeat this virus. From the beginning of time, nations and people have faced unforeseen challenges, including large-scale and very dangerous health threats. This is the way it always was and always will be. It only matters how you respond and we are responding with great speed and professionalism. Our team is the best anywhere in the world. At the very start of the outbreak, we instituted sweeping travel restrictions on China and put in place the first federally mandated quarantine in over 50 years. We declared a public health emergency and issued the highest level of travel warning on other countries as the virus spread its horrible infection. And taking early, intense action, we have seen dramatically fewer cases of the virus in the United States than are now present in Europe. The European Union failed to take the same precautions and restrict travel from China and other hotspots. As a result, a large number of new clusters in the United States were seeded by travelers from Europe. After consulting with our top government health professionals, I have decided to take several strong but necessary actions to protect the health and well-being of all Americans. To keep new cases from entering our shores, we will be suspending all travel from Europe to the United States for the next 30 days. The new rules will go into effect Friday at midnight. These restrictions will be adjusted subject to conditions on the ground. There will be exemptions for Americans who have undergone appropriate screenings, and these prohibitions will not only apply to the tremendous amount of trade and cargo, but various other things as we get approval. Anything coming from Europe to the United States is what we are discussing. These restrictions will also not apply to the United Kingdom. At the same time, we are monitoring the situation in China and South Korea.
Looks like Michigan actually ended up flipping, so Constable actually ended up winning that election.
That are currently in place for a possible early opening. Earlier this week, I met with the leaders of health insurance industry who have agreed to waive all co-payments for coronavirus treatments, extend insurance coverage to these treatments, and to prevent surprise medical billing. We are cutting massive amounts of red tape to make antiviral therapies available in record time. These treatments will significantly reduce the impact and reach of the virus. Additionally, last week I signed into law an $8.3 billion funding bill to help CDC and other government agencies fight the virus and support vaccines, treatments, and distribution of medical supplies. Testing capabilities are expanding rapidly day by day. We are moving very quickly. The vast majority of Americans, the risk is very, very low. Young and healthy people can expect to recover fully and quickly if they should get the virus. The highest risk is for elderly population with underlying health conditions. The elderly population must be very, very careful. In particular, we are strongly advising that nursing homes for the elderly suspend all medically unnecessary visits. In general, older Americans should also avoid non-essential travel in crowded areas. My administration is coordinating directly with communities with largest outbreaks, and we have issued guidance on school closures, social distancing, and reducing large gatherings. Smart action today will prevent the spread of the virus tomorrow. Every community faces different risks, and it is critical for you to follow the guidelines of your local officials who are working closely with our federal health experts, and they are the best. For all Americans, it is essential that everyone take extra precautions and practice good hygiene. Each of us has a role to play in defeating this virus. Wash your hands, clean often used surfaces, cover your face and mouth if you sneeze or cough, and most of all, if you are sick or not feeling well, stay home. To ensure that working Americans impacted by the virus can stay home without fear of financial hardship, I will soon be taking emergency action, which is unprecedented, to provide financial relief. This will be targeted for workers who are ill, quarantined, or caring for others due to coronavirus. I will be asking Congress to take legislative action to extend this relief. because of the economic policies that we have put into place over the last 3 years. We have the greatest economy anywhere in the world by far. Our banks and financial institutions are fully capitalized and incredibly strong. Our unemployment is at a historic low. This vast economic prosperity gives us flexibility, reserves, and resources to handle any threat that comes our way. This is not a financial crisis. This is just a temporary moment of time that we will overcome together as a nation and as a world. However, to provide extra support for American workers, families, and businesses, tonight I am announcing the following additional actions. I am instructing the Small Business Administration to exercise available authority to provide capital and liquidity to firms affected by the coronavirus. Effective immediately, the SBA will begin providing economic loans in affected states and territories. These low-interest loans will help small businesses overcome temporary economic disruptions caused by the virus. To this end, I am asking Congress to increase funding for this program by an additional $50 billion. Using emergency authority, I will be instructing the Treasury Department to defer tax payments without interest or penalties for certain individuals and businesses negatively impacted. This action will provide more than $200 billion of additional liquidity to the economy. Finally, I am calling on Congress to provide Americans with immediate payroll tax relief. Hopefully, they will consider this very strongly. We are at a critical time in the fight against the virus. We made a life-saving move with early action on China. Now we must take the same action with Europe. We will not delay. I will never hesitate to take any necessary steps to protect the lives, health, and safety of the American people. I will always put the well-being of America first. If we are vigilant and we can reduce the chance of infection, which we will significantly impede the
Yes, the president is speaking right now. That is why I'm not talking.
The virus will not have a chance against us. No nation is more prepared or more resilient than the United States. We have the best economy, the most advanced health care, and the most talented doctors, scientists, and researchers anywhere in the world. We are all in this together. We must put politics aside, stop the partisanship, and unify together as one nation and one family. As history has proven time and time again, Americans always rise to the challenge and overcome adversity. Our future remains brighter than anyone can imagine. Acting with compassion and love, we will heal the sick, care for those in need, help our fellow citizens, and emerge from this challenge stronger and more unified than ever before. God bless you, and God bless America. Thank you.
All right, for those who are just now joining or who are watching, that was actually the President of the United States, Donald Trump, speaking about the coronavirus. And at the same time, you did see me playing through the game, but at the same time, the more important thing is about what he was talking about. It looks like that the president is switching gears on the coronavirus. He is now acknowledging that the coronavirus is a actual threat to the United States. I did not actually pick up on the beginning of that speech. 30-day restriction will not apply to the UK, but he has now restricted U.S. travel to Europe. That all travel from Europe to the United States will be suspended for the next 30 days, except for the United Kingdom. He made the decision in order to keep new cases from entering our shores. He said we will be suspending all travel from Europe to the United States for the next 30 days. The new rules will go into effect Friday at midnight. These restrictions will be adjusted okay, that's worded weird, to conditions on the ground. Said there will be certain exceptions made for Americans who have undergone appropriate screenings. And then these prohibitions will not only apply to the tremendous amount of trade and cargo, but various other things as we get approval. Anything coming from Europe to the United States is what we are discussing. These restrictions will also not apply to the United Kingdom. And that he is confident that the United States will expeditiously defeat the coronavirus. And yeah, so if you guys were actually listening, what are your thoughts on what the president was saying, and why do you support or why do you not like what he said? Let's continue. We're basically just we're gonna get our seat back actually in Congress. So let's see, elections, politicians, federal. Who is representing our district right now? Politicians, districts, state, campaign, elections. Who represents us? 2038 primary elections, okay. Politicians. How do we actually figure this out? State? Okay, archive. Okay. 2036 elections, view all elections. Republicans gained 32 seats. Michigan 11 is probably going to be on that list. District 23 and 32 were taken by the Republicans. Yep, Michigan 11. Duncan was not able to defeat the Republicans, so it was 51-49 in Michigan 11. I think people are panicking about Corona, but I guess this is going to keep the masses calm. And that's what Philip says. I actually wanted to run for a local election, but since, you know, I could actually flip this seat, let's go to campaign. Let's do Senate candidate Olivia Brand. Hopefully she can actually get this. We have very high independent and even Republican support. So we're most likely actually going to be able to take this seat with a landslide. At least 30 points over. Let's do some polling. Voter intention. 51-49 against Spencer Myers. That is going to be our opponent in this election. What seat are you running for? I am running for Michigan District 11. This is going to be the federal district of 11 for the state of Michigan. This is actually the one I actually represented before, but I actually dropped the seat because I wanted to run for governorship. I tried to run for a Senate election, so I have actually not been in any political position since 2035. It is now 2038. I have failed 2 elections over the past couple of years, so it's actually pretty embarrassing. But I do actually know I am most likely going to be able to pull away with District 11 again. Let's go ahead and open about 10 more offices. Let's do some television ads, economic growth. Let's do $200,000 on that. If we can get my enthusiasm up and my turnout up, that is going to help me a lot. We have let's go ahead and shoot for about 100,000 in turnout. Let's just do a lot of these events right now. Fundraiser with Governor Kessler, which was my opponent in the Senate campaign. That's probably actually why I lost. If I can actually run against anyone that's not formally a big candidate from the from this, then I will most likely actually be able to pull away with that election. But I have actually the odds that have actually been against me a lot of the elections that I've been running for. So we have it at 76,000. We're just going to be rallying and rallying and rallying. Let's go ahead and get some funding into that income gap. See, I'm really able to do it on a local level, even like district level, but whenever I go for like a statewide level, that's whenever I really cannot win. And I cannot imagine myself running for the presidency. Some of you guys actually want me to run for the presidency, but I'm not able to. Let's go ahead and attack my opponent's policies. We have overwhelming independent and Democratic support. We have 100,000 people that are... Let's go ahead and attend all rallies. We have 106,000. Let's continue Marketing, let's get some minimum wage going up. Let's put about $200,000 into that. We have this. Let's go ahead and do State House Representative Thomas Merrill from Michigan 37. And then a fundraiser. Then let's do some final. Let's do some rallies. 114,000 going to be our final number. And general election. This is probably going to be a close one. All right, we actually were able to pull away with that by about 30 points. I was actually correct on that. 259,669 votes to 157,339 votes, or 62.3% of the vote to 37.7% of the vote. So that was more of a successful campaign for ourselves. Large win. Yeah, that was a pretty large win by about 30 points. We are in week 46. Let's go ahead and check on the actual election. Democrats gained 31 seats across the United States. Let's go ahead and check. Arizona 2, District 7 of California, California 7, California 10, 31, 39, 49, Connecticut 5, Florida 7, Florida 26, Florida 27, Illinois 6, Illinois 12, Illinois 14, Indiana 8, Kansas 3. Kansas 3 flipped to the Democrats. Interesting. So PG, were you originally a Republican or did Trump pull you in? He actually pulled me in. I'm still kind of, wonky on President Trump. Trump is a pretty, weird candidate. I'm not the craziest about him. District 11 of Michigan was actually for us as well, and we managed to flip it. Wow, Ohio 14, massive win for Laura Daley. And let's actually check. Okay, so both seats in the Senate are actually controlled by the Democrats. It does look like that Michigan is trending blue in this game. Presidency is still, this is actually a midterm election. Anyway, yeah, President Trump actually did pull me in. I was more of a Bernie Sanders supporter back in 2016, and I just did not like what the Democrats were doing. And so, the Democrats were the ones who actually were, that they kind of pushed me out, and then Trump and the Republicans kind of pushed me in. So that was more of something that that actually, caught my attention. Trump, I don't like what he does whenever, he talks a lot, but whenever it comes to, policy, and even whenever it comes to how he's dealing with the coronavirus was a little bit kind of wonky whenever he first started dealing with it. He kind of seemed like he didn't care about it, but then now, since it has been declared a pandemic, I do support what he's doing now. 2038 midterm elections, class 2, Maine, Iowa, and Colorado actually flipped to the Democrats. House elections, we already went over that. Governorship, Mervyn Elliott was actually able to win the state of Michigan, more of a wider margin from the last election. Here's actually a comparison. Elizabeth Kessler's election, kind of more so the same map. This county actually right here flipped to the Democrats. State Senate, Republicans gained 1 seat. State House, Democrats gained 6 seats. Mayoral campaigns, we have a Democratic mayor in the city of Pontiac, and then city council and school board usually never change. So let's go ahead and go to our first new term. School board member Carla Decker will not seek re-election. All right, so we can actually be the committee chair on the Appropriations Committee. Let's go ahead and also... Oh, that's an exclusive. We can only be on one exclusive. Let's go ahead and put ourselves on the Education and Workforce Committee, as well as the Judiciary Committee. You cannot serve on more than 2 committees, so let's go ahead and just be the Education and Workforce Committee. Actually, Federal Courts and Criminal Justice. Let's go ahead and just put ourselves in the Judiciary. We have no subcommittees for that. And then other subcommittees, we can do immigration, crime, and terrorism. Let's go ahead and do... Okay, so courts, intellectual property, and the internet is going to be focused on federal courts, including the establishment of federal drug courts. And then crime and terrorism is going to be gun regulations, prison sentence lengths, and criminal justice rehabilitation programs. Let's go ahead and continue. And then we're going to be the head of the Appropriations Committee. Go to politicians, go to federal. Let's do rankings. Current rankings. We are number 3 in the House. We're in week 1. We are the House Majority Leader. We're not the Speaker of the House, though. If anyone can actually tell me... Okay, 2039 to 2041. So, okay, so we need to get above this guy to actually be the Speaker. Interesting. But we are the House Majority Leader, so that's good because we can actually influence a lot of legislation through that. And then Johnny Salt, he's been on the Hill since 79. No, wait, actually. He's been North Carolina 10th representative since 2007. It's 2039 now. We have districts, elections, state, federal. Alright. Let's go ahead and go to the next. See the budget resolution. No changes to the law. Let's go ahead and support. Create some legislation. What kind of challenges we got? We've got increase the minimum wage. Just go to poverty. Let's increase the federal minimum wage to $12. So it's passed committee with a vote of 1919. Floor debate, an amendment vote to minimum wage. We have $10.50. Let's go ahead and oppose. That passed. Let's go ahead and support our legislation, but it failed because 11 Democrats actually crossed the aisle to oppose it. Who were they? We had California 31, California 44, Florida 23, 26, Georgia 2, Georgia 13, Illinois 8, Minnesota 1, South Carolina 6, Tennessee 9, Texas 23. Hey, what's going on? Cameron's Political Prediction Center. I got to buy a computer so I can play this game. It's a pretty fun game. I love it. And we actually have Wyoming's Soul District right there. But did not receive enough votes to continue on its path to become a law, so unfortunately that is the case. Corporate tax, go ahead and look at a tax reform bill. $2.2 trillion is coming from federal tax revenue. We have all of these 6 tax brackets that we can mess with. Earned income tax credits. Let's go ahead and leave all that alone. Let's go to drug crimes, 3 years. Let's go ahead and put that down to 1 year. That's going to reduce our federal expenditure by, how much was that before? 3 years, $2.1 billion, 63,000 imprisoned, to $703 million to 21,000 federal prisoners. Let's go ahead and try to get that passed. Looks like we have the budget resolution conference report. Authorized revenue is $5 trillion, which is an increase of $212 billion. And then authorized expenditure is $4.6 trillion, which is a decrease of $8.1 billion. No changes to the law. Let's go ahead and support. Then we have federal drug crime jail lengths. The President of the United States supports the legislation. And then support it. Got out of committee 28-12. Including 7 Republicans that actually supported it. Let's go to the next turn. We have a lot of, we have a lot of stuff, including TANF gas tax, grants to low-income school districts. We have WIC, and then my legislation. Let's go ahead and do my legislation first. Go ahead and support it. Passes the House 297 to 138. 2 Democrats actually went against it. Let's go ahead and see who they are. South Carolina 6 and Florida 23. Maybe if they keep refusing to support our legislation in the future, we can do something against them. Okay, let's see what we're looking at on WIC. Okay, we have my legislation. Okay, WIC, this is increases the eligibility rate from 175% of the federal poverty level to 184%. Grants for low-income school districts. Increase the eligibility rate from 81% to 86%. Gas tax is putting it to $1. I'm gonna oppose that, actually. And then TANF increases eligibility rate from 27 to 28%. So I'm gonna support everything except the gas tax. The president supports, or the party leader supports all of it. So I'm gonna agree with everything except gas. We're not gonna be proposing any amendments to these legislations. Let's introduce an amendment to the gas tax, put it to 20 cents. Let's increase it by 2 cents because it never can get passed by 25 cents. Let's support the amendment 434 to 1, which was California 34 and NACO de la Cruz. Gas tax, let's go ahead and support that. And it fails 213 to 222. The president actually opposes HR 5. Which one is HR 5? What does he say? When deciding on how to vote on legislation, one should consider the consequences of the legislation. Let's go ahead and support TANF. Wait, this is an amendment. Let's go ahead and oppose the amendment. These are all... 2 of them are amendment votes, actually. Okay, TANF. Supports. 223 to 12, that passes. Grants for low-income school districts, let's oppose that amendment. Oh, actually, the amendment passes. So that puts it to 83%. Let's... I'm gonna oppose. Even though we're the House Majority Leader, we actually don't... hey, what's going on, General Neville? I actually have not seen you in my live streams in a while, so welcome back, actually. And then WIC. Let's oppose the amendment. Okay, that failed. And then supports 223 to 12. President opposes HR 7, 6, 8, and 2. I actually don't know which one is which. The legislation is made out of the Senate Committee 11 to 9. Okay. Has been approved by the Senate 68 to 32. And President Willard Collingwood has signed my piece of legislation into law. Thank you, President Willard Collingwood. And everyone watching right now, again, leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you can, super chats are always appreciated. I really, really appreciate any sort of let's go ahead and introduce a universal background check. I do support any sort of support that you guys can give me. So if you guys can do that, that is appreciated. Let's go ahead and try to get some universal background checks passed. See, Universal President Collingwood opposes it, but the Speaker of House supports it. Let's go ahead and support 23 to 17. Let's go ahead and go to the full House vote. See what the House actually thinks on it. Oppose gun regulations. Let's support 241 to 194. 20 Republicans actually crossed the aisle to support the legislation. Those or Arizona 24, blah, 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 blah. Go ahead and continue. Let's see how that does in the Senate, and they deny my bill a hearing, so that is dead in the water as it hits the Senate floor. So unfortunately, universal background checks cannot be a thing until Democrats can actually get a majority in the Senate, which actually they do not have a majority in the Senate. Let's do politicians, Senate, 52 to 48. Ohio is actually flipped. Ohio, Maine, Florida, Missouri, New Mexico actually, and Nevada are all split down the middle. House 224 to 211. So it's a very slim majority in the House. TANF, let's see what we can do. Can we get a 50-cent increase in a federal minimum wage? Grand Amendment Bill a hearing, 1919. Amendment vote. Oppose. Let's get that through. And 11 Democrats cross the aisle to support the Republicans in killing the bill. So a lot of trouble in this gameplay as Michigan's representative. Let's go ahead and go through. We're going to go through the budget, create appropriation bill, defense. We have a budget limit, total expenditure. Don't really want to do these. So these are actually. So since I am actually at the top of the, we have the agency budget request and then the president's request. Actually, $2 billion below the president's request on the DoD personnel funding. This looks deep. Neville, have you actually never seen this game before? If you haven't, this is like the greatest game you've ever seen. Let's go ahead and continue. Then agricultural appropriation bill, let's go ahead and create that. We have mandatory expenditures. We have a budget limit of $38 billion. And then $3.3 billion of rural development budgets. Animal and plant inspection, rural utilities service, Food and Drug Administration. Let's go ahead and not mess with that. We have a commerce bill. I didn't know the FBI was under the Department of Commerce. Oh, this is justice. So we have justice, science, and commerce budget limits and expenditures. Federal prison system. Let's look into something. We have judicial branch, U.S. Marshal Service, the ATF funding. Continue. Energy bill. Let's okay, we got $31 billion that we can mess with in here. I really want to see if I can put some more funding into nuclear energy, which is about promoting and expanding nuclear energy. We got $890 million. Let's get that. So we have budget limits, $31 billion. We are $400 million over that limit. So let's cut $400 million from something else. Federal Energy Regulatory Commission. What else can we actually cut? If I can cut $200 million from two separate agencies, then that'll actually do it. Office of Energy Efficiency and Renewable Energy Funding. Yeah, let's actually cut $300 million out of this. You know what? Let's cut the $400 million out of renewable energy. So instead of going to renewable energy, we're going to go straight to nuclear power. Office of Fossil Energy. Let's cut that down to about $600 million. So we have about another $200 million that we can allocate somewhere else. Let's go ahead and put that in uranium enrichment, decontamination, decommissioning. We have a finance. Interest payments on the national debt is $520 million. So we have government budget, $2.3 billion. And then finances, which is $543 billion. About $20 billion of that looks to be discretionary. Treasury Department administrative costs. Let's Office of Personnel Management, go ahead and ignore that. Vote on legislation and science, approve. We have a Homeland Security bill that we can actually allocate. TSA, Coast Guard, Secret Service. This is only Homeland Security, actually. FEMA, custom agents. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, Border Security. Let's cut $400 million from Citizenship and Immigration Services. And then let's put the extra money into Border Security. So that's going to be $10.7 billion. And we have like an extra 10 million that we can actually allocate. I want to see if there's going to be a smaller. There we go. We just put the extra money in the National Protection Program Directorate, which provides funding for that same agency, which is responsible for protecting physical and cyber infrastructure for potential threats. Department of the Interior. I don't think I have any requests for Congress to make for that. Not even the EPA. U.S. Geological Survey actually is interesting. Nah, we're not going to do anything with that. Education, Health, and Labor. This is going to be a big, big bill that we can actually put on to somewhere. Social Security is $1.5 trillion. We are spending $1.5 trillion in Social Security, $1.1 trillion on Medicare, and $205 billion on Medicaid. Education funding for economically disadvantaged is $9.7. Universal preschool, $72 billion. $11 billion on federal free community college. Higher education grants, $12.4 billion. Student aid, 573. So let's see what we can do with education. We have free community college, payments to states for child supports, CDC because of the United States and their position. Is that a government budget or state? This is a federal budget. Everything that you're seeing me write right now, this is all for a federal budget. Basically, the way this game works, General Naval, since you actually haven't, I don't know if you have seen my past content, or even heard of this game. Surprisingly, I'm surprised you haven't even heard of this. Basically, the way this game is, you can run for local elections, you can run for your school board, for city council, and then you can run all the way up to the federal level. And then whenever you're at the federal level, I am actually high enough in the House of Representatives right now for my district, because I represent District 11 of Michigan. Basically, I have the authority, because I'm the chair of the Appropriations Committee, because you can put yourself on different committees and all that, depending on how you're feeling at that time. Basically, what I'm doing right now is because I am the chair of the Appropriations Committee, I get to write the federal budget. Even though I am not the president, basically the other way it works is that the agency requests a certain amount of money. The president of the United States writes his own budget, and then the Appropriations Committee can basically, throw out the president's budget and then write its own budget. And so that's what I'm doing, is that I am kind of going through and I am seeing what kind of funding that I want to put on, and then that goes around, and then you have like budget conference reports, budget resolutions, all that, and then the game is very intuitive. I love this game so much. It is so realistic. It's absolutely fun. So that's what I'm doing right now. I am doing the federal budget, but even on the state level, whenever you are high enough in the House or the Senate, you can write your own budget. So, and that's actually the cool part about this game, is that when the high enough you are in the House or the Senate, you should definitely get this game yourself. It is absolutely fun. This one I actually saw earlier, and I'm actually going to tell you guys about it. But whenever the high enough you are in the House or the Senate, basically you write your own budget, and then that comes together and that creates what is called a conference report, which is voted on by the House and the Senate, and then both of them basically kind of like mix their budgets together, and then that becomes the budget of the state for that year. This one actually is called an impact grant. This provides funding for two school districts that reside fully or partially on federal land, which basically school districts on federal land often do not collect property taxes, which means they lack funding to provide quality education. Impact aid grants are used to overcome the funding deficit. The federal government provides $1.6 billion, or provided $1.5 billion last year to impact aid grants. Some school districts that are eligible for impact aid grants are school districts found on Native American reservations. But I don't think I'm really going to be touching any of this right now. I don't have any reason to. Okay, legislative funding, $5.2 billion for the legislative branch, which includes the salaries of members of Congress and their staff. Since I'm a Democrat, and because that's something that I don't like, and if the people of Congress aren't getting as much money, then why should Congress get a lot of money? So let's go ahead and decrease the amount of salary that or the amount of funding that we're actually putting into that. Veterans Affairs, $2.5 billion. Let's go ahead and go through that. State Department, diplomatic and consular programs. This is the boring part about politics, is whenever you're writing budgets, have to go through all of these programs and see what we're doing. But I really like to do it. It's really fun. Foreign military financing, which helps strengthen military power of foreign allies. Refugee programs. Multilateral development banks provide technical and financial support to the developing countries to help them reduce poverty and achieve financial stability. Transportation. This one's a big one, actually, because especially on a state level, you actually have to deal with something called the road funding grant, which is basically it's like a piggy bank for the Department of Transportation along the city, state, and federal level. I find economics interesting when it comes to politics. Yeah, this one is extremely big on economics. That's why I love this game so much. And again, you have to you basically start out with the agency's budget request, and then the president, whenever you're in Congress, or the governor, they put in their own budget. You get the last year's budget, and then you make your own budget. So apparently, my default budget is actually higher than the president's or even the agency's budget. We're gonna decrease that by about $1 billion. We have all of these agencies that we can give money to. Oh my god, I accidentally clicked. And let's give the FAA $3.7 billion to play with. Let's go ahead and continue. Let's oppose. Profile. I'm still a House representative. For some reason, only 50 people voted on that. then that's it. I believe we just went through the entire budget appropriations process just like that, so that was fun. Legislation 2039, we're about to go into an election year, and I do not feel like doing that. So we've been streaming for an hour and a half. Guys, if you guys like this video, I'm going to go ahead and end it off right here. If you guys like this, go ahead and leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. I am actually going to, let's go ahead and get an invite going for you guys. Let's go ahead and post the link to my new Discord. If you guys actually have not, General Neville, go ahead and join that Discord as well. If you guys have not joined my new Discord, that is the invite link for that in the chat if you are watching. So go ahead and join me there, and we can have a discussion of this afterward, and we can also talk about other things, such as, you know, big events going on in the world. So guys, if you guys like this, go ahead and leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I will see you guys in the next video. I'm going to be producing more content for you guys, including the Republic of India continuation series, and more. So guys, do not hesitate to subscribe, share my channel, and more. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you guys so much for watching, and take care.